Simplifying fractions or reducing fractions is to report a fraction in its lowest terms. And I put here, don't worry, that means to make a fraction using the smallest numbers possible. So I have a few examples here. As you can see, we have 4/6, and we rewrote that as 2/3. And then I have 21 over 35. We can turn that into 3/5. We have 24 over 25, and I can rewrite that as 12 over 25. And our last one here is 75 over 100 is the same as 3/4. Now I'd like to show you what I did here. So for 4/6, what I looked for and what I found was I could divide it by 2 over 2. If you divide 4 by 2, you get a 2, and 6 by 2, you get a 3. So you look for the biggest number that goes into both your top and bottom number. I normally just focus on the top number and then check it with the bottom. So I'm thinking of 21. I know that 3 goes into 21. That doesn't work. Also 7 goes into 21. That's good. 7 goes into 35, and that's actually how we found that one. For our next fraction, I have 24 over 50. I know that they're both even, so that means I can at least divide by 2. So I divide it by 2 over 2. I divide the numerator and the denominator by the same thing. And half of 24 is 12, and half of 50 is 25. And our final one here, sometimes you can divide by rather big numbers. Like in this case, 75. I'm thinking of all the ways to make 75, and I think of quarters. 3 25s gives me 75, and I realize that 25 also goes into 100. So I divided the top and the bottom both by 25 to get my final answer of 3/4. Let's take a look at some of these fractions I have here. I have 18 over 20, and I see that they're both even, so I can divide them both by 2's, and my new fraction I can rewrite as half of 18 is 9 and half of 20 is 10. Next up we have 15 over 27. Think about this. I can divide 3 goes into both, looks like, and 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 27 divided by 3 is 9. Then we have 40 over 45. 40 over 45, I can divide top and bottom by 5's. Again, I'm thinking what numbers go into 40, and I'm going through in my head. This is where math facts are very helpful. I know that 5 goes into 40, and 5 also goes into 45. So that gave me 8/9. 56 over 80. Well, let's try this. We could divide it by, because it's even, we could divide it by 2's. Half of 56 is 28, and half of 40 or 80 is 40. But I kind of have a little bit of a problem. They're still even. I can go further. So what if we divide it by 2 again? We get 14/20. And then they're still even, so what if I go back into half of each of those, and it looks like we finally finish it off at 7/10. Now that was one way, and 7/10 is our answer. But again, if we go back to facts, if you would have realized, starting back here at 56 over 80, that we could divide top and bottom by 8's, we could have saved a whole lot of work. And there you go, it's 7/10. So if you need to just go halves at a time or divide by 2's, maybe you didn't realize or think about a little bit bigger factor that works, you may do so. Now let's come over here to the other side. We have 32 over 40. We can divide by 8 over 8, and it looks like we get 4/5. 8/16. It's one of those, they're both even, we can divide by 2's, but wait a second. 8 is half of 16, so I know that that is half, and I can show my work by dividing by 8 over 8. 66 over 77. Anytime the numbers are the same, that's my clue that it's over 11s. And 66 divided by 11 is 6, and 77 divided by 11 is 7. And I saved a hard one for last. 72 over 132. We can simplify this. Again, this is where your math facts really help you out. We can divide top and bottom by 12. And watch how quick we can solve this one, or simplify this. 72 divided by 12 is 6, and 132 divided by 12 is 11. I hope this helps.